Hey, what's up, Doug? What you doing?
Hey, one second.
Okay, you don't want to get this review going?
No, I do. I do. I'm trying to do something here real quick.
And what is that?
Uh, right about now is actually right where, once this ends, is about as long as Ving Rhames' appearance in Mission Impossible 4.
Ah, okay. Well, hey, at least they made the most out of his seconds, because I thought it was a pretty solid cameo. There was a lot going on in this movie.
I know. I just missed him.
Definitely understand.
Alright, enough of that. Go ahead. Light the fuse. What on earth? What's this supposed to happen? Damn thing malfunctioned on me. I at least had a few more seconds. I mean... Okay. Maybe there was a reason. Onwards to the review. Welcome everyone to Love Like Hate, where I talk about films I never saw in the theater or that I'm pretty much reviewing late. I am reviewing the series of Mission Impossible films with fellow YouTubers. Here I am at the fourth installment of the franchise that has now got this formula down pat, and it's soaring like a bird on cruise control. See what I did there? I made a bad pun. Anyway, I am reviewing this with a good buddy of mine, Anthony Digioia, who is kind enough to be a part of these reviews. So I'm going to send you his way where... Oh, great. Now the picture went out.
Hey everybody, I'm Anthony from the Silver Screen Analysis. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I'm super excited to be over here on Doug's channel talking about Ghost Protocol as he works his way through all the films in the franchise to get ready for Mission Impossible Fallout later this month. I've always thought Ghost Protocol is the best film in the franchise, and after just watching it again a couple nights ago, I continue in thinking so. It's just a non-stop ride from the minute the film starts, and it doesn't take its foot off the gas for 2.5 hours, nearly playing out like one long continuous third act. Prior to this film, director Brad Bird was known for his excellent filmmaking on the animated side, and I think he must be commended for just truly diving headfirst into a sprawling international espionage adventure with a massive scope, and I think Bird and cinematographer Robert Elswit craft a stunning film and overall nearly a flawless work of art that fuses practical effects and stunt work together with digital effects almost seamlessly. The cast was fantastic. Tom Cruise was solid as Ethan Hunt once again, and he brought all the effort you would expect from him in this franchise. I also really love the additions of Jeremy Renner and Paula Patton. I think both of them made honestly solid contributions to the team, and they all had their moments to shine both in the action as well as the development of their characters. Another major positive for me was the advancement of Simon Pegg's character and getting him out into the field. I really thought this allowed him much more room to work with throughout the progression of the story, so he could just effectively deliver his charming comic relief to kind of ease the tension when needed. I think the late Michael Nyqvist was a fantastic villain. What he may have lacked in physical comparisons to Cruise, I think was more than made up for with just the unique creation of the action sequences and his overall arc in the storyline. This created, I think, more than enough of an even playing field between them, and with the villain seemingly a step ahead throughout, you could still feel the weight of the mission that's at the task of the good guys. The story itself was incredibly ambitious, and it was extremely well structured. The plot lines and the character arcs I thought all progress evenly, and it really just uses the action sequences themselves to progress things at times. This keeps things moving nicely, and it really just drops in long adrenaline pumping action sequences that all flow smoothly from one to the next. This movie will give you impressive action that's going to blow your mind, then you get a short segment of concise story development only to be just swept into another harrowing sequence that will pull you back up in your seat. I mean, the cast was bigger, the action was endless, the script was intricate, and it was all woven together effectively to create an awesome film with just stunning visuals. I felt the action action in the movie is what propelled the story forward. It gives the sequences a lot of meaning, ramifications, and importance, rather than just feeling like a common espionage story with car chases and fight sequences slapped in here and there. And not only is the over-the-top spectacle genuinely woven into the narrative, it delivers things we've never seen before. You got Tom Cruise climbing on the side of a skyscraper, a chase sequence in a sandstorm, a showdown in an automated parking garage. You name it, this one delivers it without forgetting all of the technology and gadgets that we've grown to love over the course of this franchise. I think this movie delivers just as much adventurous extravaganza as a superhero movie does, just without the special powers and the capes. It's over the top, but at the same time it's grounded. It starts out fast, it sweeps you up, and takes you on a ride that few espionage films can, which is why I have to give Ghost Protocol 100% on the entertainment meter, because it simply does just that. It delivers non-stop world-class entertainment from start to finish, and just talking about it makes me want to go watch the movie again right now.
Hang on 1 second. I think I got it. I think I got the picture back. I'm not sure exactly. I think the screen is back, but Anthony is gone. I didn't cut him off, did I? Great. This is gonna be a terrible review. Oh, if you see this flopping about, don't mind the thing. I hurt myself, pulled a muscle trying to get this technical specs out of the way. Don't ask. It's impossible to tell. So whether or not I cut Anthony off, thank you, sir, so much for being a part of this. You are amazing. And talk about high praise for a fourth film in the franchise. Giving it 100% only shows how much Cruise and the people he works with know how to make these installments effective stories. I remember the days when a film hit its third stride. That was when, as we knew it, the finale. Going into Mission Impossible 3, I felt that could have been the last installment, but I'm glad that wasn't the case. There was more story and definitely a lot more concepts to explore in this non-stop thrill ride. Jumping into my segment, this is where we find Ethan in a different place, much different than the third film. The story alludes to that, and we get some insight as to what happened to Ethan, but what really surprised me even more is how the entire story flowed extremely well, leading from one situation to another. The set pieces were incredible, the story was just enough, and mostly around the middle segment there's an entire sequence that will always make my palms sweaty and gasping for air because I forgot to breathe. Just upon rewatching, I had forgotten how third acty this film really is, as Anthony said. What I believe really worked is the idea that while these characters were on the run from the law, they were at the mercy of what gadgets and resources they could bring with them, or what was provided. We were unfortunately led to many of them malfunctioning or going wrong. It's an excellent setup for the Burj Khalifa sequence where Ethan has to go outside and access the server room. And I'm telling you, I was white knuckling it and my palms were sweaty the entire time. That is a very tense scene. While I agree with pretty much everything Anthony said, I will sadly part ways with him on the villain. He really didn't do much for me, considering he doesn't have much to say other than being the guy that just sets things up and let the actions speak for themselves. I did enjoy that, but I wish there was more to him. You sadly don't get much screen time with him, and even when he does show up, he's actually in a disguise. Nevertheless, the characters beyond the villain and Ethan Hunt really bring their own flavor to the situations. One being personally involved, another one willing to help, another one having close personal ties to Ethan that ultimately make a surprise breakout character developing moment that I had no idea that would end up being relevant. And then we've got one that it's a cameo, Ving Rhames. He's barely in this movie, and that was kind of sad. I like the skeleton crew of helpful aides as the time grew closer and closer to Judgment Day. This is merely a movie that hits all the right strides, and if you're a fan of this franchise or just newly getting into this, you're going to want to see this one for sure, and you're definitely going to love this one. It's not my favorite in the franchise, but it does have a very special place in my heart. I'd be definitely curious to know if you are one of them that is a Mission Impossible fan but didn't care for this one. I would love to know your thoughts down below, just as much as someone who actually loves this film, please let me know down below. I'd love to talk to you about it. And for that, I'm gonna give Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol love it, and I would own it on DVD. Oh yeah, I think it's safe to say on all of these right now, I don't even need to show you because you know I'm going just add that one more thing malfunctioning to the list, my hands. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, I encourage you to subscribe and check out all the content that I've got going on. I do TV show reviews, movie reviews, and both of them that come together and set up a universe. Subscribe, share, comment, and of course, I will always get you more videos in the future.